or should I go? It's always tease.
Some rock albums from the 80s didn't just flop. They crashed so hard they rewrote careers. Today we're counting down the 10 worst rock albums of the 1980s and exactly why they're so bad. And this isn't hate for clicks. These are the records fans still argue about. The overproduced messes, the identity crises, the trend-chasing synth disasters, and the band drama albums you can hear falling apart in real time. Picture the 80s. MTV is running the culture. Drum machines are everywhere. Labels want hits yesterday. And legendary bands are being pushed to modernize or get left behind. So a lot of artists made one risky move and paid for it. Because when a rock band drops a truly bad album, it's not just one rough listen. Sometimes it triggers fan backlash, lineup breakups, lost momentum, and a reputation that takes decades to fix. So we're going 10-1, breaking down the exact reason each album failed. The sound choices, the label pressure, the bad timing, the messy production, and stick around for number 1 because it's the album that became rock's most legendary "What Happened Here" moment. Number 10, Judas Priest, Turbo. I remember the first time I heard the shiny edge on this one, like metal put on a leather jacket with neon lining. Big choruses, slick textures, and that 80s arena-ready gloss that MTV loved. Fact check. Released April 7, 1986 on Columbia. Produced by Tom Allom, recorded at Compass Point, Nassau, and The Record Plant, Los Angeles. This is the album where Priest's sound leaned more commercial, with synth textures. And that's exactly why it split the fan base. Fun fact, it's one of those records that later got repackaged and revisited. Because even the band knows it's a you either love it or hate it era. Why it's so bad? It's not that it's soft. It's that it can feel like the band chasing the decade instead of leading it. Hardcore fans wanted steel. They got chrome. Keep listening, because the next one is a rock legend doing something so weird it still confuses people on first listen.
Hey, rock lore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
Number 9, Neil Young, Everybody's Rockin'. This one feels like walking into a diner jukebox. Slick hair, tight rhythms, old school rockabilly bounce. Except you're hearing it from an artist who usually doesn't follow anybody's rules. It's short, sharp, and almost gone before you fully settle in.
I've been talking.
Fact check. Released July 27, 1983 on Geffen. Produced by Neil Young and Elliot Mazer. Recorded at Modern Recorders in Redwood City, California. The album is rockabilly with covers and originals, and it's famously one of Young's shortest albums. Fun fact, the Neil Young and the Shocking Pinks credit makes it feel like a one-off side project, because that's basically what it was.
wondering.
Why it's so bad? It can feel like an experiment with the soul missing, like a costume party version of rock and roll instead of a real emotional statement. It's curiosity, not greatness. And the next album? It's the moment an extreme band tried on glam clothes and fans never forgave them. Number 7, Discharge, Grave New World. Imagine you grew up on a band as a raw, furious punk weapon. Then you put on their new album and hear glam metal swagger. That's what this feels like. A hard turn, hairspray shine, and a fan base staring like, wait, who are you? Fact check. Released June 16, 1986 on Clay Records. Produced by Mike Clay Stone. The album marks a radical shift away from their earlier hardcore punk sound. This stylistic change is basically the entire story. It's the reason the album is infamous. It's happening now! Fun fact, the album's history even includes stories of fans reacting badly on tour, like the music itself lit the fuse. Why it's so bad, it's not just different. It sounds like it's trying to please an audience that was never theirs, and in doing that, it loses the original fire. And the next one? A classic band tried drum machines and synth textures, and half the fan base still hasn't recovered. Number 6, Jethro Tull, Under Wraps. This is spy movie Tull, cold keyboards, electronic drums, and a sleek programmed pulse. It feels like the band walked into 1984 tech and said, all right, let's see what happens, while longtime fans clutched their older records like security blankets. Fact check. Released September 7th, 1984, on Chrysalis. Produced by Ian Anderson. Recorded at Ian Anderson's home studio. The subject matter leans into espionage fiction, and the sound is famously synth-fa electronic, which made it controversial among fans. Fun fact, it charted in both the UK and US, so it wasn't invisible. It was just divisive. Why it's so bad? It's the moment the band you know gets buried under the decade's machines. Some people defend it, but for many rock listeners, it just doesn't feel human enough. Keep listening, because the next one is a comeback that should have been huge, but landed like a shrug. Number 5, Aerosmith, Done with Mirrors. This one tastes like a reunion that didn't fully light the match. You hear the classic band back together, but the spark feels covered up, like the songs are fighting through fog instead of kicking the door in. Fact check. Released November 4, 1985 on Geffen. Produced by Ted Templeman. It marked the return of Joe Perry and Brad Whitford to Aerosmith. It was framed as a comeback, but it didn't hit the commercial reset button the way people hoped. Fun fact, the original packaging had the text printed backwards, so you had to use a mirror. Commitment to the title in the most literal way possible. Why it's so bad, it's almost a comeback. Almost a statement, but rock history is ruthless. Almost gets forgotten fast. And the next one? A superstar tried to get back to rock, and ended up with one of his most debated albums. Number 4, David Bowie, Never Let Me Down. I remember that late 80s Bowie feeling. Big ideas, big production, bright lights. This album sounds like stadium ambition. Polished, punchy, and very of its time, like it's trying to win 1987 on its own terms. Fact check. Released April 21st, 1987 on EMI America. co-produced by Bowie and David Richards, recorded at Mountain Studios, Montreux, and the Power Station, NYC. Bowie himself later treated parts of this era like something that needed fixing, which is why people still label it a low point.
I called your name.
Fun fact, decades later, a newly produced version of the album was created for a Bowie box set, basically an official attempt to rehabilitate the record's sound.
You danced your little dance till it made me cry. Shake a lot.
Why it's so bad? It's the production and the mood. Bowie's best work feels timeless. This one feels locked to a specific year's haircut and lighting. Keep listening, because the next album is pure legendary band tension. You can practically hear the arguments between the chords. Number 3, The Rolling Stones. Dirty Work. This is the sound of a giant machine still moving, but rattling. The vibe is aggressive, tight, and sometimes fun, but there's a coldness to it, like the band is working through it instead of falling into it naturally. Fact check. Released March 24, 1986. Produced by Steve Lillywhite and the Glimmer Twins. Recorded across studios in France and New York. The album's backstory includes real band turmoil, especially tension between Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, which colors how people hear it. Fun fact, even with the drama, it's a time capsule of the Stones, trying to sound tough in the mid-80s rock climate. Why it's so bad? It feels like survival mode instead of swagger. The Stones are best when they sound like they don't care. This one sounds like they care too much. And now, the next one is the most famous big swing, big miss concept album in rock history.
It's like a world without sun. You can't look up to.
Number 2, Kiss. Music from the Elder. The first time you hear this, you do a double take, because it's Kiss, but it's also orchestras, story moments, and that serious concept album energy. It feels like the band tried to trade face paint for fine art, like they wanted to be taken seriously overnight.
A pointless thing devoid of grace, where you don't.
Fact check. Released November 10, 1981, on Casablanca. Produced by Bob Ezrin. It's a concept album with orchestral elements and a major stylistic departure. It was also their first album with drummer Eric Carr, and notably they didn't do a full supporting tour for it.
World without dreams, things are no more than they seem.
Fun fact, later stories around the album describe it as an ambitious attempt at a grand rock narrative, exactly the kind of swing that can become legend when it fails.
World without heroes.
Why it's so bad? It's a mismatch between brand and execution. Fans came for simple, loud rock theatrics. They got a confusing rock opera. Some people love it now as a cult oddity. But for most listeners, it's the definition of what were they thinking? Keep listening, because number 1 isn't just bad. It's the album that became a warning sign for every band on Earth.
Quick break. If you love music stories like this, check out our sponsor, The Lore Store on Amazon. It's like a special music collection with books, vinyl, gear, and culture picks for rock, pop, hip-hop, R&B, Afro music, and reggae. What I like is that it's not random stuff. Everything is picked on purpose, and there are some real hidden gems in there. And just so you know, when a good item sells out, it may not come back. The link is in the description, and if you shop through it, you're also supporting this channel.
If you say that you are mine, I'll be.
Number 1, The Clash. Cut the Crap. This one feels like hearing a great band through a broken radio, drum machines clattering, ideas fighting each other, and that sense of a legendary name slipping out of your hands. I remember the shock of it. The Clash were supposed to sound like a revolution. This sounds like a collapse.
Come on and let me know. Should Should I stay or should I?
Fact check, released November 4th, 1985 on CBS, recorded early 1985 at Raritan Studios in Germany, produced by the band's manager Bernard Rhodes under the pseudonym Jose Unidos. The lineup was also changed dramatically after a turbulent period, which matters because the Clash were always about chemistry, not just parts.
So come on, let me know.
Fun fact, the production credit being a pseudonym tells you everything. This wasn't a normal band album. It was a power struggle captured on tape.
Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or
Now, here's the controversy payoff. Because I teased it earlier. This is the album people point to when they talk about how industry pressure and internal politics can break a band. By the time this record was being made, there had already been major lineup upheaval, and accounts describe a tense push and pull for control in the studio, especially between Joe Strummer and manager-producer Bernard Rhodes, who produced under that Jose Unidos name.
This indecision's bugging me. If you don't want me.
Some fans blame the production choices. The heavy programming, the crowded sound, the way the album feels forced into a mid-80s shape instead of sounding like The Clash. Others focus on the human side.
Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even?
When a band's trust fractures, the music starts to sound like different people fighting for the steering wheel. And that's why this album isn't just music. It's history. It's the sound of a legendary name trying to survive a storm and coming out the other side, finished.